in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin' who they, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounds, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes be tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move closing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange on bottle, bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,453 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter X and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification. Every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, what's up to everybody on ZTV? You can check it out there on ZTV Online. You can also make a donation since YouTube kind of took my super chats away from me. If you want to support the show, you can go to ZTV Online and you can make a donation there to my show. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, check it out on Z Radio. So, after the show is out, if you can't find my podcast, I think it's on Z Radio. All my shows are on there. So if you missed one, I don't know if you want to hear my beautiful voice or listen to the Graham Ashcraft interview or hear anything Corey Dillon's ever had to say, go check it out. Anyway, as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. So if you're looking for a house, a condo, apartment, if you have a rental property you just don't want to manage anymore, check out T Properties, and they will take care of the rest. And you know what? I wear it almost every day. I got the Juice Gang hat on today, and I got the black-owned jacket. This thing is freaking badass. I'll talk to you about this in a minute. But first of all, we hit the jackpot when we drafted Joe Burrow. We probably hit the jackpot when we signed Jake Browning. But if you want to support those guys and support the Joe Burrow Foundation, go right there to jackpotjoey9.com. Buy some of the gear. You want some of the beer? It's at Break Brewery, also at all major Kroger's. Portion of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. Like I said, I got the black-owned jacket here. My man Means hooked me up. This thing is badass. It looks like the old school starter coat. It's also reversible, so it's got the black stripes on the inside, if you can see that there. It's got this cool Bengal embroidery across it. I mean, it is awesome. If you guys, I put it out there. I got this yesterday, and I'll up here. I said, where'd you get it from? Go to black-owned outerwear. It is awesome, and it means is a great dude, so make sure you go check that out. What is up to everybody in the chat? Chat is blowing up. Strangers in there. Dale Altman's in there. Why are you in the chat? You're actually going to be on the show. Like, I don't. It's just weird. Z12 joined. What's up, man? Dave's in there. Pork Chop's in there. Rob, Kevin, Tony Blaze. What's up, Paul? You're in there. Roach Man? Roker Man? I don't know. I can't read something. What's up? Tommy's in there. Anyway, what's up to everybody? Let's get to this. We're going to have a fun Football Friday show. We're talking about a lot of different topics. We got the Bengals Vikings preview. We're talking about the Bearcats. We got the Reds. Let's get to my first co-host of the day. His name is Joe Farsing. He is from the Riverfront. Are you done eating your steak?
No, I'm gonna have to eat that cold. I got my macaroni. Have you ever had macaroni from Texas Roadhouse?
No, I usually get steak there and fries.
I mean, just as a side, it's awful.
Well, that's a good plug.
I just I wanted to grab side. I wanted to eat something really fast because I'm hungry and I've got the steak upstairs, which I get the smell, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold by the time you get done.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, reheated, but yeah. So I scarfed down the mac and cheese while your intro was going. Thank God you've got a 2-minute long intro. Mine's only 30 seconds.
I told you, it's time.
But it's my God, it's terrible. Anyway, what's going on, brother?
Nothing, man. No stuff. But go to Texas Roadhouse. Don't get the mac and cheese. Let's get to my dude. He hasn't been on here in a long time. I missed the hell out of him. He is Dale from Bengals and Brew. What's up, my brother?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on? So, did you know mac and cheese at the Texas Roadhouse is terrible?
Yeah, I don't remember if I've ever had it, but if I did, it was definitely once, and then it was like not again. You got to get baked potato, fries. I mean,
right, exactly. I should have gotten the fries because I can eat those. I could just pull myself off screen for a second. But the baked potato, I'm going to make a mess with that. I need to scarf something down before I get on the show here. And yeah, mac and just hard fail.
All right, so I got to bring this up because Greg, who's on both our shows here, does this all the time. He said, you got to have A1 steak sauce. You got to dump it all over the steak. Now, see, I like A1 steak sauce, but I'm kind of getting more toward where if it's a really good steak, you don't need A1 steak sauce. Are you an A1 steak sauce guy there, Joe?
Good Lord, no. If your steak is so bad you need A1 steak sauce, then you just need to get rid of your steak. I would say naturalist. When I do steaks, I melt butter, get some garlic, mix it up, coat it, get some kosher salt, kosher salt or sea salt, just some real coarse salt. Let it sit for a couple hours, and that's it. Maybe a little bit of cracked pepper. Like, you don't need all that dust. Like, I know Ruby's has their own, has their specific dust. All of their steakhouses have dust. No, I just butter, salt, garlic, maybe a little cracked pepper.
Dude, you're making a fat guy hungry. Pork chop agrees with you.
I mean, if you have a good cut of meat, then you don't need all that extra crap. I mean, spend an extra couple dollars. Steak's not cheap, so if you're going to buy it, buy the good stuff.
There you go. Dale, I think you've answered this before. Were you an A1 steak sauce guy? Or?
No, I'm what everyone hates. I'm the guy everyone hates. Ketchup.
Oh, that's right. You put ketchup on it. What the hell?
I mean, I'll eat it with
God.
Like
I did that when I was like 10.
Yeah. I'm forever 10. Ketchup on everything. Fuck the world, man.
Oh, my God.
Some people just like to watch the world burn.
Exactly. J-Dub, thanks for joining, brother. How you doing? All right, so let's get to this. It's a fun football Friday show. We got the Bengals versus the Vikings. It's Jamar Chase versus Justin Jefferson. Battle of the backup quarterbacks. I'm pretty positive we're going to win this, I would say. I just oh, Jesus Christ, no. Sorry.
I know. I set it off. I knew that would just make everyone angry.
For the podcast listener, Jeremy Nolan says, Jesus Christ, ketchup. Oh, my God. Or laugh my ass off. Sorry. Paul Bear's going, no. And Chop likes your shirt. I wonder why he likes your shirt. BWO. Yeah.
It's from the chop shop.
I know. Yeah. You got to throw it up. BWO, baby. There you go. All right. So I'm pretty confident the way the Bengals been playing. Indianapolis Colts defense was pretty good. They came in, I think, with 21 sacks on the season. They got 0. Minnesota has a very good defense. Their offense not so much, but they are going to have JJ back. I'll start with you, Dan. What's your thoughts, keys to the game, stuff like that on the Bengals versus Vikings?
Yeah, it's a biggest test for Jake Browning, I think, so far. Because they do have a top 10 defense by different metrics, different everything. Run defense is 5th overall. Total defense as far as yards per game is right at 10. So they're that top 10 type defense. They had the big shootout last week where they were able to win 3-0 over the Raiders. Then the Raiders come out with 63 points up last night. So right. I don't know what to think of that. I think obviously somewhere in between, that was one of those weird games you just probably toss out for both sides. But yeah, I think do we rely on the screen too much? Almost is a concern I have. I think obviously they're an all or nothing team. I saw a stat the other day. They blitz more than anybody with 6 guys. They also bring 3 guys more than anybody. So they're going to drop everybody back where they're going to bring everybody, it seems like. So just breaking tendencies. knowing when to hit the screens, picking up the blitz, everything for the O-line and the quarterback and the offensive coordinator, Zach and Callahan, to know when it's coming, I think is the biggest key.
And I think we need a big ground game again from Chase Brown, which would include the screen game. But yeah, go ahead, Joe. What you got?
Yeah, just to kind of play off what Dale was saying. They blitz 49% of the time, which is, I think, 7 or 8% more than any other team. Our good buddy Wink Martindale, the Giants, are second for that. They drop 8 into cover 21% of the time, which means that 70% of the time they're either bringing everybody or nobody. The goal, I mean, this is a game where you wish that Jake Browning had Joe Burrow's processing ability, but he's going to be tested. That being said, against the blitz, Jake Browning has a 91.1 grade per PFF, which is absolutely outstanding. 9 yards an attempt. A lot of that has to do with them being able to check into the screens. Yeah, they rely on the screens a lot, but I think that's going to be an important tool if they can accurately diagnose when the pressure is coming and from what side to be able to check into those plays and adjust to that. You can get huge gains. I mean, they had 45-yarder and a 54-yarder last week. You can get a bunch of those and make them get out of back out of blitzing as much. So, I don't know how to gauge my optimism for this week. I think the Bengals should win this game because even with Justin Jefferson, the Vikings offense is still kind of flaming hot garbage because I mean they've got now they're on their 4th starting quarterback of the year after Kirk Cousins went down. Nick Mullins hasn't played more than a cup of coffee since 2020, so Lou's going to be deep into his bag. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I think the offense is going to be okay. You look at the the Vikings blitz more than anybody else, but they're middle of the pack. They only have 1 more sack than the Bengals do on the season.
Right.
So they bring a ton of pressure, but they're not getting home all the time. So hopefully the Bengals can work around that.
So what's your guys' thoughts on this? And this is, I think, E2 Michael Madden here says, can Awuzie and Turner cover Jefferson? Which, I mean, I don't know if anybody can cover him,
no.
to be honest. But, I mean, I guess the key for stopping Minnesota's offense is slowing down Jefferson. Now he's coming back off injury, I think. Is his first game back or he played last week? I can't remember.
He played last week and then went out, missed most of the game because he had a chest injury.
Yeah, so he's come back, should be playing this week. I mean, that's you get chips on him, you double him a lot. I mean, that's the key right there to stopping. I mean, plus get pressure on the quarterback. What do you got there, Dale?
I would say, obviously slowing down Jefferson, but TJ Hawkinson, 85 catches on the year, almost 900 yards.
Yep.
We have not done well covering tight ends. The Colts didn't really have a premier tight end. They still threw a touchdown to Mo Alley Cox. Probably would have had another one to the guy that's their number 1. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but it kind of hit Logan Wilson's helmet down the field. Mm-hmm. So we didn't see tight ends completely kill us last week, but they also rotate 4 guys. TJ Hawkinson is the guy there. He's been the guy pretty much. Honestly, stat-wise, he's the best tight end in the league this year, and fantasy football-wise as well.
Well, Tanner Hudson would have been if we would have started him sooner.
right. But yeah, I think it's not just Jefferson, but it's Hawkinson, and then it's okay, so how much attention do you give those two? You don't want a guy like Jordan Addison, the rookie, to go off because he's just single covered the whole game and can hit big plays he has earlier in the year. I don't know what to expect out of Nick Mullins. He was their backup coming into the year, had an injury when Cousins went down that opened the door for Jaron Hall to start, and then they traded for Dobbs. Dobbs started. So Mullins has been there and knows the system. I think he was 9 for 13, 80-some yards last week when they finally benched Dobbs, in that barn burner, 3-0. But I don't know what to expect from Nick Mullins. But I do think TJ Hawkinson slowing him down. And I still would like to see DJ Ivey cover tight ends a little more than Dax Hill. I think he's got the length.
I just like to cover the tight end in general would be nice. I mean, I think we did a pretty good job last week, but that was the first time, I don't know, all season we actually did a halfway decent job covering the tight ends. I mean, I'll tell you, the 49ers game we did a good job because Kittle didn't go off on us. 49ers was the best game we played all year up until probably last week. I think. I mean, honestly, offensively, defense. I think that was the best game we played. I mean, I'd say last week was pretty damn close because I mean I know Dale, you weren't there last week, but I mean I never in the stadium. I never felt it was one of those games like okay, it's tied up at halftime or whatever, but damn it, we gave them the freaking points. It wasn't like they did anything, and then we come out second half and go right down the field and score. It's one of those things where I'm like, we're going to win this. It's kind of nice, easy win. I'm not saying that can happen or that is going to happen tomorrow, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm overconfident, but if we play like we did last week, I don't see the Vikings touch it, especially the way the offensive line is playing. And I was getting a discussion with a guy at work about this, and he was saying, "Oh, it's because of the play action. That's helping the offensive line." I said, I think it's because of the running game is actually being effective. You know, Chase Brown and the changeup that makes the play action effective because if you can't run the ball, they're not going to respect you trying to pretend you're going to hand it off or not. You know, so what do you guys think has been the biggest key to helping the offensive line gel? Because I mean, this is what happened last year. They started gelling right around this time last year too. Yeah, I'll let you go first. Or Joe, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's more of the offense is back to being varied. They're not predictable. When they were struggling, obviously that they weren't running the ball a lot, which is actually interesting. Paul Dehner Jr. had an article on The Athletic. They're not actually running the ball more in terms of percentage. They're running the ball more because their drives are successful. They're continuing drives.
It's more effective. That's what I said over and over and over again. I say, everybody, run the ball. But if you're not getting anywhere with it, you're not going to freaking run it. We're actually getting somewhere now. And I think Chase Brown is a big reason for that. I think Mixon is finally doing better job of going straight line instead of sitting there and trying to juke everybody. Because no offense to Mixon, that's not his game anymore. I don't think.
No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like they're not running it more frequently percentage-wise, but because they're having more drives that are being extended. Like even when the Bengals offense was rolling around the 49ers game, they'd have first two drives were touchdowns, then they'd have lulls of 3 and out. They're not having those long lulls because they're running a more varied, less predictable offense. Defense doesn't know whether they're going to pass the ball, whether they're going to hand it off. That makes the run game more effective because you don't know where the run's coming from or if they're actually going to hand it off. It's freezing those linebackers. The interior of the offensive line has absolutely played its best 3 games, starting with the Steelers game, which was funny because Steelers have a great defensive line, but they did remarkably well. I mean, all the sacks were on Browning for holding, cooking a dinner, and then trying to get rid of the ball. It's the timing's been perfect, and it also helps with the play calling that they're not predictable. Everything is just more efficient. Yeah, they're not going to be as explosive as they are with Joe Burrow because there's only one Joe Burrow, but it all comes down to efficiency and effectiveness and just a bigger usage of the playbook that they're able to use. So
what you got, Dale?
Yeah, I would echo what Joe said. I think, as far as a more balanced offense opens everything up. It opens that run game up because they don't know if you're going to play action. Then it opens up the play action because they don't know if you're going to run. And I think Browning is really good at selling play action when he does play action. Mm-hmm. Like, you really can't tell if he's handing it off or not. Where Joe, I feel like, was almost a little more obvious. It was like I'm just already looking to throw.
Right.
It was actually not. The play action wasn't much of a play action. It was, let me go ahead and I'm going to pretend this for half a second and then I'm throwing. Whereas I think now Browning puts it in there and you don't know if he's getting it or not. And next thing you know, then he's up and he's firing the ball downfield. So I think everything sets each other. And the offensive lineman will always tell you a more balanced offense. That gives that like split second to where the defense can't just rush up the field on you if they know it's a pass every down.
Exactly.
Makes their job a million times easier.
Yeah.
So I do think it's all hand in hand. I know that's a generic answer, but
that's
a truthful answer. That if it's everything works hand in hand there. With running the ball, opens up the play action, opens up everything downfield, and makes the offensive lineman job easier.
To your point there, Dale, of how Jake Browning is a little better at the play action than Joe Burrow is, that kind of goes to something I've been thinking, that maybe Joe sitting and watching Jake, how he does that, I might give Joe a little more bigger perspective of going like, okay, I don't have to make every single play myself. I don't have to play hero ball. We can do this. I got to get better at the play action. I got to get better at doing it under center. I got to get more comfortable turning my back to the defense. Because those things that we've heard that he doesn't like to do. Yeah. And if he can improve upon that going into next year, we're gonna be more dangerous. That's just, I don't know. Am I crazy? Do you think with Joe maybe getting the bigger picture because you're in the trenches, got to win every game, all that stuff? Then you're out on the bench and you can watch more stuff.
You would hope so, and obviously, I almost wonder if Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan have turned the offense too much over to Joe Burrow. Again, he likes to be in the shotgun. He likes to either have empty formations or, being almost exclusively an 11 personnel, so you're not getting any max protection. He doesn't like a ton of motion. He doesn't like play action because he doesn't like to turn his back to the defense. He likes to see where everybody is so he can get a feel for where the pressure's coming from. But seeing the effectiveness with a lesser quarterback, and not taking anything away from Jake Browning. He's playing fantastic, but again, Jake Browning isn't Joe Burrow. They're I would say forced, but I mean, are going to put more of this in the offense. What they're saying, what they've said is that they haven't changed any of the plays. They haven't added plays. These are all plays that were already in.
They've had all year.
Yeah, but they're ramping up the percentage of them because, obviously at a necessity. You would hope that there's a medium, a middle ground to be found between what Burrow likes to do, what's more effective, and what Burrow's seeing being effective. I mean, if they can incorporate this, and the San Francisco game was their most efficient, effective offense with Burrow, and they ran under center, like they did rollouts. There was play action.
There was rollouts. There was play action, and it was more unpredictable, like we've all been saying.
Yeah.
And that's I think was the frustrating thing for me, and I think for Dale too. And I think I've seen you talk about it on your show as well. Is after that game in San Francisco, we never really saw Joe Burrow do that again.
They reverted to the old just straight dropbacks or straight shotgun game.
I don't know why.
I mean, I know a lot of it is matchup based, and I don't know enough about. I know they played the Bills after San Francisco, and I know that they run two different styles of defenses. But even after the Bills then you.
Kept getting slowly more and more back to shotgun. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
In the Bills game, but I mean, I don't know. Does that make any sense, Dale? Why you have this great game against the 49ers and then let's go back to what wasn't working?
No, but I think you're right. I think Joe's seeing it from the sideline. Joe's a smart guy. We all know that. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to – it should carry over. The coaching staff should see it too. They need to say, hey, we are going to go under center a little bit more. We're going to play this way. We're going to have to be more balanced. If you're more balanced, it just opens everything up.
And it makes it easier on Joe, too. I mean,
and there's still drives, there's still drive. And I do wish, you want to drive where, Joe, you set back and you go 4 and 5 wide. Mm-hmm. Why don't they go, when Palmer did that, a little more wide? It wasn't 4 and 5 wide, but – it was hurry-up offense, and you could incorporate that early in a game or after halftime or 2-minute type offense.
Right.
There's a time for it, but there's also an overall passing the whole game and running the ball 8 times is not it's not effective. It doesn't – everyone knows what's coming. So I just think – and I do think it'll carry over. I've been saying I hope it will, but I do think it will, especially, obviously, if we keep winning. Yeah. There'd be no reason not to. But I think just seeing the last couple of weeks, we beat 2 playoff teams. We beat the Jaguars. We beat the Colts. We beat the Colts by 20. We didn't have – Jamar Chase had 29 yards, and we won by 20.
He was a decoy more than anything. That's what Coach Kyle was saying on my show, was it Wednesday, that Chase was a decoy. And that opened up a lot of stuff because, especially for the Chase Brown touchdown, if you go back and watch that, it was on Wednesday's show, Chase runs around the backfield and everybody goes this way, and all of a sudden they just go whoop, and Chase Brown is gone.
That's why they need to quit running these reverses or the handoffs to Chase. The jet sweeps and everything, because the entire defense follows Chase. You're not taking anybody out. It doesn't matter if you're in zone or in man. They're running someone across the field with Chase. So stop doing that. But last week Chase had 4 targets. Boyd had 4 targets. No one had more than 4 targets. 8 or 9 guys had a catch, and it was just a basically it was the entire depth of the. We hear about how the Bengals have the best depth, the best playmakers from wide receivers and everything.
Right.
And that was proof of concept. Also, Irv Smith not being in on pretty much any snaps, not getting any catches. That helps too.
Tanner Fye got a touchdown. Love it.
Yeah, but he still only got 14 snaps. I mean,
I know. I don't get
but
that.
where
Like,
they're running the ball more,
going to him.
the second leader was Wilcox. So I
Yeah.
at least understand that Wilcox is a little more of a blocker like Drew Sample. And they're going with that 12 personnel.
Tanner's our
but
best catching tight end. I mean,
I would like, I would love to see more than 14 snaps.
Yes.
I complain about that, and somebody's like, "We won by 20." You're still complaining. I'm like, I'm just saying, he needs more than 14 snaps.
We've been saying this since training camp. This dude is the number one tight end. Quit putting. I still don't understand why they keep putting Irv Smith out there. I mean, he's not making drops or anything, but
they didn't hardly last week. What was it, like 8 snaps? Like something it was by far close.
No, he should have. I think he should have 0. I'm sorry.
I won't go that far. And he might still. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches another touchdown pass in the next week or two.
What's funny is, I'm again just looking at PFF's blocking grades. Tanner Hudson has 0 pass blocking snaps.
Oh yeah.
If he's on the field, he's got 18 run blocking snaps, and those are probably all just checks. They're kind of telegraphing when he's in the game what they're going to do, but he's been, and I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but they were, within the last week or so, 5th most yards per route run among all tight ends since they activated him. He's just efficient, and not only is he making the catch, but he's able to make moves after the reception and pick up extra yards. So I would think they want to feature that more. Like, they're being successful. You're not going to displace Drew Sample. Hopefully, Sample's he got moved.
Drew Sample is the man, right, Dale? Yeah. Drew Sample's the man.
My favorite player of all time. Never doubted him. But yeah, he's now getting 70% of the snaps. I think it was this past week. He's hit his high back-to-back weeks for snaps.
And they're using him as a fullback or a personal protector when it's third down plays, which is absolutely brilliant, because instead of using they don't have small JP Ryan, instead of trying to use Travion Williams, who is a decent blocker, but Travion Williams is 5'9", 208 pounds. Give me Drew Sample, who blocks almost as well as an offensive lineman, who's 6'5", 260 pounds, and he can leak out as well of block and then release into a pattern and get a pass and turn on the field. I mean, so it's not like you're totally losing out on just wasting on an additional lineman. But yeah, the only concern right now is with as much as Minnesota blitzes, Drew Sample is questionable for the virus. He and I think Jackson Carman both got sick. So
it's probably Jackson's fault. I'm blaming Jackson.
Yeah, I know. Why is that guy? I don't know. How does he still have a roster spot? I know he's been inactive, I think, every single week, but who does he have pictures of?
Yeah. I would have thought they would have tried to trade. Here's a former second-round pick and get something for him, and
for the podcast listeners, we're talking about Chris Evans. I've banged the drum for 3 years. I don't know.
Now we were talking about Carmen, but yeah, Chris Evans.
Oh, sorry, you're talking Carmen. I saw Chris Evans. Sorry, my bad.
But Chris Evans, I mean, I still think he could have a role.
But
they don't trust him. They just don't trust him.
Yeah, I don't know why. Now, EMC here has got a question. So, Mixon and Brown, take them, and we win a Super Bowl. Who are you sticking with next year?
I run it back.
That's what I'm saying. I run it back. I'm still drafting.
Mixon cut his contract for both seasons, and he's a captain. Yeah, so I think when he did that, when he took the pay cut, which is what we were all asking for, I know there was the hot debate about Mixon,
right?
Or Mixon cutter. No, it's a pay cut. He needs to take a pay cut. He's getting paid too much for his production. And once he took a pay cut, it's like, okay, we can live with that. And I think the same thing. And especially he gets hot later in the year. I still think these next 4 games might be the best games we see from Mixon.
Well, and that's the thing, too. What I would do for next year, I'm with you. I'd run it back, but I'd still draft a running back, because that is the last year of Mixon's contract. Am I right on that?
Right.
You don't have to, though. What you're seeing from Chase Brown makes you not have to try to take a guy in the second round.
True. Yeah, like you got a good point there. But
If you love somebody, you take him.
Right.
You know, if somebody falls in your lap in the third or fourth again, take him.
Yeah,
More of a power guy for the future. I can understand.
all right, I got a question for you. So we both love Tanner Hudson. I think I don't know if Joe has as much love for Tanner as me.
But he's 29.
Yeah,
He's
I like him.
old.
I like him. He's good.
So is he next year? I'm re-signing him, but I'm still trying to get in our tight end though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100% because Wilcox, Irv Smith's probably gone. I just see no reason you would bring him back after he's just on a 1-year deal. Even if you bring Wilcox back, it's not a bad thing to have 4 tight ends on your roster.
No, I'm surprised we have 4 now.
If you're going to use the offense we're using, that's the thing. There's no need for 4 if you're going to run the Joe Burrow offense.
Right.
You wonder, especially considering how effective the offense is running in its current form, with Boyd's going to be gone. There's no way that he's coming back. Where he is. He's a free agent. Yeah. I'm not convinced T's going to be back. I know that they will tag T, but I'm not convinced that they're not going to trade him. They could get a top of the second round pick for him.
I would trade him.
I think that's the best use.
They will trade.
All right. With that being said, this is one that I've talked about on the show, and I can't remember which commenter brought this up. Now, see, for me, I'll put it there. You talk about trading T. All right, if Jake Browning keeps playing the way he is, I'm trading him. And so if you package him and T, you're getting somebody really freaking good back. That's what I think. Why are you shaking
I see no? Joe. I see Joe shaking his head. I'll start because I think Joe's going to have more of an opinion. but I'm going to say what I think. What I think Joe's probably thinking, and at least how I feel is, how many quarterbacks are injured right now? How important is having a backup? And maybe it's only 3 or 4 games, but that could be your difference in seeding too.
Yeah,
if Joe was coming back and Browning had this stretch here, everyone would be fearful of the Bengals. I think a lot of people are still fearful of the Bengals the way they're looking with all the talent on this overall team. So I think it's important to have a backup. Now, I know if somebody's going to give you a second-round pick.
That's right there. That's what I'm saying.
Then maybe you consider it.
Second-round pick, maybe a first. I don't know about first, at least second.
You have trust in Browning,
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody's going to give that. Like we say they will, but at the same point in time, Browning's what? He's 27, 28 years old. Going to be going on 28 next year, I think. So it's.
I'm not
it
saying
depends how he finishes. If he goes out
there and we go out there and we win a playoff game or hopefully win the Super Bowl, he's because people are like, oh well, because somebody have said on here in the chat before, well, who do you go with? Do you go with Joe Burrow? Or you go with Jake Browning? You're going with Joe Burrow. Even if Jake Browning wins the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow is your starting quarterback next year. But that's the thing, if Jake Browning takes you and wins the Super Bowl. Dude, that's you can get a lot, and yes, I know backup quarterback is important, but you can find one, and the likelihood of Joe having back-to-back years of being injured, it's not that likely. To be honest,
we are also riding a 2-week high,
right? True
of this play.
We have to let it play out, see how the season goes, but
exactly, and is anyone going to get? Let's just say we just missed the playoffs. We miss it by a game. Is anyone giving you a second-round pick for Jake Browning? Probably not.
No.
It depends on how good he played. Depends on. It does. It depends on how good he played. Depends on how the situation is and everything. Yeah, it depends how desperate they are. So you can't say that nobody would.
It's also it's a decent class for quarterbacks in the NFL draft, and everyone's going to want to go with the young shiny toy. That's just what I've seen.
Yeah,
I'm basing it on history.
Yeah. I just remember Scott Mitchell got a hell of a contract from Detroit back in the 90s because he had one season when Dan Marino went down, and he got a huge ass contract for being a free agent. So I know
was he on the complete free agent market?
Yeah, I'm not completely freaking crazy of what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Joe. We've talked about it. I know you want to get in on this.
Yeah, there's no chance that you're really going to get much value for Jake Browning. He's an exclusive rights free agent, so the Bengals are going to be able to bring him back for peanuts again.
Right, that makes it even more tradable.
And that's good, but nobody is going to trade anything of value because they can use that draft pick and draft a quarterback or they're too, or they already have a quarterback and don't, and would only be bringing him for depth anyway.
What if they don't have a high enough pick to get one of the quarterbacks?
Then they're trading a pick that they could have used for that. I mean, you're going to get a second rounder for T as it is. I don't see any need to package them to get a better draft pick because teams aren't going to do that because they're going to want that draft pick. A team that's going to be valuable. What's that?
You don't think you get number one pick, a first round pick for T?
I don't think so. Not after this year. Production's down, and he struggles to stay on the field. Before these last two games, he's been on the field for 66% of his career games where he's been active. That's not good. No one's going to trade a high first round, a mid first round, maybe someone late in the first round that Chiefs would maybe be, not that I want to trade, help the Chiefs out at all, and not that the Bengals would ever trade with the Chiefs, but that's a team I could see be willing to trade because they have no wide receiver. But that's going to be late first round pick. That's going to be 25, 26, something like that, and that's maybe. I mean, I could see a team like Chicago wanting to trade for him at top of the second round. God knows they got two first round picks. It's going to be top down picks, so that they can probably go get Marvin Harrison. So they won't even need him. But I don't. Would I pull the trigger for Justin Jefferson? Yeah, but would the Vikings pull the trigger for those that are listening? Someone put a comment: T. Higgins, Jake Browning, and a late first for Justin Jefferson. I would pull the trigger, but Vikings aren't going to do that.
I wouldn't pull the trigger on that, and I don't think the Bengals would because it's the money. He wants to be the highest paid receiver in the league. So does Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And what you're paying, there's no way you can have that much money. I think it's the same reason that T, if he's here, it's for one more year. It's the franchise tag, and then he probably hits the open market, and you get a third-round comp pick for him.
Yeah.
It's just the money doesn't work out. Because I still think they need to – if it was me, I would try to bring back Jonah Williams, tackle, and I would try to bring back DJ Reader.
Yep.
They need
both of them.
Well, they need Jonah or they need DJ Reader more than anybody else. They have nobody behind. I mean, you can draft a right tackle in the first round, and it's
it's a track record.
Bengals have an awful track record. Bengals have a terrible track record.
We actually have a better track record of drafting nose tackles than we do right tackles.
But what's more likely to be there when the Bengals are going to be drafting? If you're being optimistic, they're going to be drafting early 20s. Pessimistic, they'll be drafting late teens. A defensive tackle who can step in day one as a true nose tackle like DJ Reader, or a right tackle who you can plug in and play and get quality snaps out of. The right tackle is going to be there, especially there's a lot of offensive skill players that are going to be going really high, quarterbacks and wide receivers. So you're going to see tackles slide down a little bit. I don't think they're going to get Joe Alt, but
it seems like right tackle or the offensive lineman it takes longer to develop than a defensive guy.
Well, I mean, we took a 35-year-old fourth round pick out of middle of nowhere state and dropped him in at left guard last year, and they seem to be rolling with him. So why not get a pedigree guy in the first round? I know.
It's two totally different positions. Right tackle is pretty big,
right? But I mean. And I mean, offensive tackle play, and there's a huge concern about you hear all these old head offensive linemen that are now analysts that are talking about how the quality of offensive tackle play in college, it leaves so much to be desired because of all the wide open spread offenses. They're just not ready to play against NFL quality. But where the Bengals will be picking, there'll be a guy. I'm not like I'd rather have them both back.
I'm not
a useful guy.
Drafting because
right.
I mean, done. Me personally,
I'd rather have both. I'd rather have Jonah and DJ back. But if you have me pick one, DJ Reader to me is so much more important.
I've kind of changed. Those two to me are the two most important ones to sign. I mean, I love T. I don't. His agent is trying to get him to free agency. That's
yeah.
And he did it with Jesse Bates. He's doing it with T. I don't think we're going to be able to sign him. I hate to say that. I didn't think so for a while. I think we're going to sign him, but I've got more. I don't think we're going to sign him. Of Jonah and DJ to me are the two key ones. Cheeto is a key one too. I like to have him come back.
I think he's gone just based on who we've drafted.
That's where I was going with it. But with everybody we drafted and the way they're starting to play, he's probably gone. So I mean, but if you could have, for me, if you got the same 5 guys coming back on the offensive line for the first time and God knows how long for the Cincinnati Bengals, that's huge because Dave Lapham is talking about this. It's a fist, and you got to have if you have the same 5 guys there all the time, and the more you play with them, the more cohesive your offensive line is going to be. And the Bengals haven't had that, and I don't even know how long it's been. I can't even tell you how long it's been.
Yeah.
I will say though that DJ is probably going to be the easier one to sign.
Absolutely,
because we don't know if Jonah's going to want to. Somebody going to let me try to play left tackle again, because that was the whole sticking point, early in this offseason when we signed Orlando Brown. And then I also think he's like 25 years old to where DJ's about to hit 30. And I think Jonah Williams being 25 years old, somebody's still going to pay him. We saw what Mike McGlinchey was able to get almost $90 million on a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Insane contract. So somebody's probably going to overpay Jonah. That'll be hard to keep him because I do think he'll hit the market, especially if we have to franchise tag T. Then Jonah's hitting the open market and anybody can give him whatever he wants.
Yeah, and this is his one chance at a big payday. Jonah just turned 26 last month. He's not going to get a second big payday when he's 30, 31 years old when he comes up for his next contract. So, yeah, he's going to want to try to go out and get left tackle money. Luckily, right tackles got paid this offseason to where he can realize he's still going to get a similar size contract on the right side where I think he's a lot better player. But I think there's just a high likelihood that Jonah's going to be gone as someone who needs a left tackle and might settle on him as right tackle if they find somebody else. But yeah, he's going to be hard to bring back. Bengals do have a lot of cap space, even with all the extensions and everything. Next year, the big money doesn't start hitting yet. So they have I think conservative was like 85 million space. I don't want to go too much into the offseason because we still have 4 important games plus the Super Bowl run to talk about.
It's not draft season yet, Dale.
Everyone was excited that the Reds. Everyone was excited last week because the Reds. Everyone was excited last week because the Reds, the draft lottery for Major League Baseball.
Yes.
They got the second second pick. I'm like, okay, cool, but they have an exciting team, and we're in the middle of hot stove season. Let's worry about the team that's going to be on the field and not about someone they're going to draft that'll be in the 2025, 26, 27 Reds, okay? Let's, cool, awesome. I'm not looking at who's going to be there at the second pick in the 2024 Major League Baseball draft. So I'm not, let's not go too far ahead on this stuff, but...
Well, speaking of that, let's roll into some Reds conversation here. The Reds signed Jammer, if I get it right, Candelario. I cannot say his name. John
Cangelosi?
Yeah, that guy. John Cangelosi.
Tom Candiotti, the knuckleballer?
Yeah, him too.
Cool.
I can't say Jammer's name. Anyway, signed him. He's a infielder, first baseman, third baseman. Everybody's kind of losing their mind. Oh, we don't need another infielder. What are we going to do? We need another outfielder. We need a power right-handed bat. Well, he's a switch hitter. So he hit 20 homers. He's probably going to hit 30 in GABP. Now, my thing is, we have athletic guys. The first thought came to my head is you move Ellie to center field. And I get where Walker Red said this. You don't want to put that much on it. Might want to put that much on his plate. He is young. He is trying to be able to hit and major pitching and all that stuff. And I understand that. I don't think that's putting too much on his plate. I think he's so freaking athletic. If you watch him just basket catch a ball over his head at shortstop or third base, he can track the ball. He's not going to have any problem at all moving to that.
Are we talking Ellie De La Cruz now?
Yes.
Catch up.
Yes. Right. I don't think he'd have a problem at all. Now, one thing I've heard, DeCross said that Jonathan India is going to try to go and play the outfield. He's also going to try to play first base. Somebody said CES. To me, those put CES out in the outfield. Those guys are not athletic enough. Ellie could be an elite Gold Glove center fielder.
But you don't need him to be. You already have one.
Yeah, they have a Gold Glove center fielder.
You put him in left field, you put Steer right, and that doesn't mess your defense up. To me, if you're going to put Frito in center and you got Steer left and CES or India in right or vice versa.
You're wasting Ellie's defensive talent if you put him in left or right, though, in my opinion. Yeah,
it would behoove you to give him some reps enough. so you've got another guy to go out there if need be, or just to mix and match guys.
Yeah, for sure.
His defensive his defensive value is at shortstop or third base. I mean, the best shortstop on the team is McLean for that matter, but
McLean's a better shortstop to be honest.
yeah, but McLean's a better. The Reds also have Marte and Ellie, who are both decent shortstops, so you're not losing a ton when those guys, if McLean is out of second. If you move McLean off second, whether it's Steer or whether it's India, you're losing a lot in defense. India is an awful defender. Steer kind of improved when as the year went on, but he's not good at any of the 87 positions they played him at. What's that?
He's not awful.
No, but I mean, it's not like he's throwing the ball around the diamond or kicking the ball. Most of it has to do with just more range and getting breaks on balls. That's India's fault. India doesn't have a strong arm, so moving him to the outfield is a terrible idea. That you're going to have Johnny goddamn Damon out there with this little pop gun arm.
I don't like. But I mean, one thing, if you put CES out there, and I don't think I knew like the Red said, is that he's got a rocket for an arm. So that is one good thing about putting CES out in the outfield. Now they did try him in the outfield in the minor leagues. Now, if they still might go out and trade for an outfielder, I have no idea. I'm just talking about how the Reds roster is lined up now. That the way it's lined up.
But I think Friedel will still get some majority in center field, though.
Oh yeah, TJ Friedel is your starting center fielder. Yeah, TJ Friedel is your starting center field. Steer is your starting left fielder. Which people crap me up. It's like, oh well, this means Steer's will be an everyday left fielder. Steer was already going to be an everyday left fielder. I mean, he's going to come in and play the infield every once in a while, but he's your starting left fielder. I mean, that hasn't changed. I would
agree with that
at all. I mean, that was always going to be that way. I always think that's interesting. But I mean, if you do that, to me, if you put Ellie in center, then you don't have you have him running around there. You got TJ Friedel left. That makes your up the middle defense pretty damn good. If you have him in center, McLean at short, and say what you want about India. India's he's okay second baseman. I mean, he's not. He won Rookie of the Year. He's not.
He had a good hitting season. He had a good season. He is an awful defender. He's slow. He has no arm. He takes terrible routes to the ball. No, you don't want like.
Then why was he playing second base?
Well, they said he might play
because he can't play third. Because he can't play third base. That's why he played second base.
He might play some first, also. Correct.
Which is worse because you don't put a league average bat.
Yeah.
Like he's a league average hitter. To be a valuable first baseman or DH, you need to hit the shit out of the ball.
Where would you put him?
29 other.
I think Joe. I can answer for Joe. He would trade him.
29 other teams. No, see, I don't mind. I don't mind having him. Let me answer this. I don't mind having him if he's content being a utility guy. So again, mix and match, because I mean they have a lot of guys. Nope, they don't have to worry about guys getting run into the ground because they've got 3 guys that can play short, 27 guys that can play second. That's awesome. If he's content,
people get injured.
Yeah, exactly. If he's content being a role player who's going to get a start at second, a start at first, a start at DH, starting left, moving around the field. Awesome, because again, there's value in that. But if he's playing every day, the Reds are screwing themselves and are putting an inferior product on the field.
Nobody, the way it is right now, nobody's playing every day. They have too many players.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like getting 500 at bats. If he's on track to get 500 at bats, the Reds are screwing themselves out of someone better or potentially better playing.
The only ones that are doing that is Ellie, McLean, and Marte. I think are getting that many at bats. Everybody else is getting moved around.
Well, I mean, even so, I mean, that's what now. Thankfully, they've got the DH. They can move guys around too. You can play someone 5 games out of 6 days, and they're still getting rest and everything. Then they can come in and pinch hit late in the game, or come in as late as a defensive replacement. So, but and you can have 6 guys that do that. But India should not be one of those 6 guys. He should be the 7th guy that fills in a spot here, a spot there, or use this trade bait.
Is Stevenson then, right? How much do you trust Stevenson at catcher to where
he is your number one catcher? I don't care what anybody say. He's your number one catcher. That's he's going to. Well, they probably another catcher on the roster. They may have 3.
He's AAA. No, he's AAA depth. He's got a split contract, so he can play. So he gets paid X amount in Louisville and X amount with the Reds. They don't have anybody in Louisville, so he's just someone to play down there. And he's got major league experience if Melee or if Ty Steve gets injured. So I don't think they're doing the 3 catcher anymore.
Thank God. But you do agree Stevenson's the number one catcher?
By default, yeah, because Melee isn't a good enough of a hitter to be a number one catcher.
Right. Defensively, he's better than Stevenson.
But good God, I think you or I are better defensively than Stevenson. He steals strikes from his pitchers because he's so tall. No, he's 6'4". Any pitch that's a low strike that he's not expecting, when he goes to receive, he snatches it down, and anything borderline, I'm just going to call it a ball because it's the opposite of framing. He's unframing, deframing.
I'm just saying, how many games do they want to put Stevenson at first?
I don't think that's zero. I don't think that's going to happen. They've got, just first base alone. You got, if they're talking about India, you got CES. John Candelaria. I think he's your starting first baseman. Honestly, I think that's where they're going to put him. And CES is going to play first base, DH, and outfield. India, I think he's going to play second, first, and maybe somebody outfield. Which I think
Candelaria is going to be the third baseman.
Not with Morte. No way. Morte is look. He ended the season on a 15-game hitting streak. He looked like a Gold Glove third baseman over there.
I will say this, and I've said it on a couple of our shows before. I'm convinced that either Steer or Encarnacion Strand will be traded in a deal for a pitcher. I'm not saying I love them both. I'm not saying I don't want them on my team. I'm convinced one of those two guys will be dealt if they're going to get Shane Bieber, if they're going to get Dylan Cease. One of those two guys are going to be one of those two guys are going to be dealt because they've got a lot of value, and they're also easily, I don't want to say replaceable, but their spots are less important defensively than everyone else. So I think it will sort itself out, and Candelario will be your primary first baseman, DH, and then other guys will mix in.
Yeah, I actually kind of tend to differ with you because I think people are more interested in the guys we got in the minors than the ones we have up here like Arroyo, the pitcher. Oh crud, I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Louder,
and there's
Petty, Phillips.
So,
it depends.
And,
it depends.
That's where I think those guys are more the ones that I think other teams, because everybody wants potential, and these guys are potential. Better. Some people said better than the ones we have up here now. Potential can get you, a really good starting pitcher for that team you traded for, but also potential can get you fired because you make that trade and that guy stinks. That's why I think it's gonna be more of the guys in the minors that are going to get a starting pitcher.
It depends on who you're trading with. Now the Rays, the Rays traded Tyler Glasnow. They wanted guys that were closer to major league ready, so that they would have been, if the Reds would have been in on him, or if the Reds want Randy Rosarena, they would have gone after Connor Phillips. They would have gone after maybe Andrew Abbott, CES. That's those guys
with the White Sox. That's where I think that's because they're not in contention. They're not in contention.
Yeah,
that's where I think they want.
Yeah.
I can't. What's the pitcher's name for the White Sox now?
Dylan Cease.
If we're getting,
and he's got 2 years. He's got 2 years of control. So he's going to cost. He's going to cost a lot, and I'm cool with that. Like again,
that's why I think it's one of the guys, a couple of guys down there.
Maybe, and the Reds have a ton of guys. That's the thing. People that were so against the Reds making a trade at the trade deadline. Again, you don't want to trade, dump your entire farm system for a guy you're only going to have for 2 months. But the Reds have 37 middle infielders that are in low A, double A, and high A right now. They can spare those guys if it's going to get them a pitcher that's going to put them over the top. Like you started this conversation, they got the number 2 pick overall. Right, exactly. That is a game changer as far as impacting the team right now. Who you're going to trade? That's Hunter Green. That's wait a minute, Nick Senzel. Yeah, yeah, but still, it could be Hunter Green. Right? That's the thing. Dan, what do you got, man? We've been talking a lot. What do you got on it?
I don't have a lot more to add. I don't think.
Sorry, I kind of monopolized the conversation for a little bit there.
But Dylan Cease, I don't think they're going to go for him just because the asking price is way too high. I think if they trade for one, it's going to be Shane Bieber.
I wouldn't mind Bieber either. But the only thing I don't like about Bieber is he's only got 1 year.
If you had to trade one for both of you, would it be Steer or CES? I lean toward CES even though he's younger, just because he's more hit or miss on his average. I think Steer is going to be a higher batting average guy.
I'm kind of with you on that, but it also scares me because I think CES has the potential to be a very scary bat, a big power bat.
He needs to be to justify the fact that he has zero defensive value. He's got a decent arm, but there's a reason he only plays first base. He was not good at third base. He wasn't good in the outfield, but he needs to hit the shit out of the ball to have value. I think he's got the higher ceiling. I think Steer has a lot higher floor. So I can see both of them having about same value to the outside the Reds organization. So
CES for some reason, not that he's going to be this, but I always when I saw him and the way he swings there, I see Big Poppy. I mean, that's just I don't know the DH, the guy who can't play anymore, but he can mash the ball. I'm not saying I'm not going to say he's going to be big, David Ortiz, a Hall of Fame player or anything like that, but that's for some reason the vibe I get out of him. I don't know. So I would probably trade CES just because Steer has more value of being able to play multiple positions and the batting average is better. But it would also scare me to do it. And the thing is, the Reds can't be scared to make a trade. Somebody they trade might be a superstar when they go to the other team. They just might, because they got so many guys that have talent, but they have so many guys. That's the point to having this surplus of middle infielders and talent that you can trade them to go get this piece. Because the thing is, the Reds are not going to be able to afford all these guys once arbitration starts hitting all this stuff. So they need to strike now. We need to start going for this World Series now, this year, because it ain't gonna be too much longer. And I'm not talking about free agency, but arbitration and all that stuff, it's going to hit. Unless they do something smart and try to sign them before they hit arbitration. But half these guys are Boris agent, or Boris is their agent, which I don't know if he's gonna let them do that or not. So that's where I'm like, the time is now to try to go get this thing done, and they had the surplus of people to do it.
Yeah, and that's all these guys aren't going to pan out. Ellie, McLean, Steer, CES, Marte, they're not all. We all think they all look fantastic. One of these guys is going to be out of baseball in 3 years. One of these guys are going to be in the minors. So it's going to be very surprising if all these guys are actually contributing solid major league ball players in 3-4 years. So you don't want to dump everybody so there's no one behind them when one of them bomb out. But I'm tired of holding on to cards because we're going to build for tomorrow. We're going to build for tomorrow. We don't want
That's what I'm saying.
It's been since 1990. It'll be 34 years come next fall from the Reds' last World Championship. Yeah. They haven't been in a World Series since then. They haven't won a playoff series since 1995. That was my freshman year of high school. My son is in his freshman year of high school right now. That's a long-ass time.
I was already graduated. In 1990, I was 15. Yes, I remember all that. That's what I'm saying is people get
old.
Yeah.
Shut up, Dale! That's what I'm saying, though. It's we got the talent to go get these guys. Go get them. Go get it. Go get these guys. Go for this thing now. Because like I said,
go get that ace. Go get that top of the rotation guy, and then you have actual depth.
Right, and the thing is, you're never going to see that. As many guys we saw come up last year and play as good as they did for being rookies, we're never going to see that again. That never happens. No. The thing is, and Marte, I didn't realize this, but he still can win Rookie of the Year this year. He's still under the at bats. So that's a cool thing there too.
That's why the Reds called him up when they did. After I think it's after September 1st, when you call a guy up, he's still going to retain his rookie eligibility. If he wins Rookie of the Year in this next year, they get a draft pick as compensation for having the Rookie of the Year.
I did not know.
So the Reds got him a cup of coffee, let him get his feet wet, so he can ostensibly hit the ground running come opening day.
Another reason why I think he's your starting third baseman. I don't think he did anything last year but to solidify he's your starting third baseman. And it kind of surprised me. People were like, "Well, maybe they might trade him." I don't think they're trading him. I think
he hit the shit out of the ball. He just he hit absolute line drives. It took him until the last weekend to hit a home run because he's just hitting these low line drives everywhere. He's a fantastic. I think he has the opportunity that he's got the highest chance of being a better player than Ellie. Ellie has a higher ceiling. I think Marte's got a lot higher likelihood of hitting his ceiling than Ellie does.
All right, Keith here. Joe Farsing, the Reds are cheap.
They
want to hold on to the prospects as long as they can. So when the group of young stars are gone and can get paid, they can trade them. But that's what I'm saying.
These guys are going to be around for. These guys are going to be around for 4 years. The guys that are in low minors.
So many guys in minors. We have too many. They have a gluttony. There is too many. They got to trade somebody.
Edwin Arroyo is going to be 27 years old by the time these guys are finally through with arbitration. Right. Sal Stewart, Cam Collier. These guys are going to be in their mid-20s. It's going to be past. They've already ran out their time with these guys. These guys, by the time that they need to replace them, these guys have already have well overstayed their time in the minor leagues. If they're still there, it's because they're not any good. Yeah. So, and you still have drafts and international signing periods between now and then. The Reds have the guy in the minors. I'm going to talk about real quickly here. Alfredo Duno, 17-year-old catcher. He's going to be the next big thing. He's probably going to be in low A this year. He was in Dominican or Venezuelan league. Love that guy. That's a guy that like you can see the Reds build on in a couple years. Totally aside of what we're talking about, but he just popped in my head, and I wanted to mention him real quick.
Dude, this is why I like having Joe, because he only talk about Bengals on his show, so he gets all his red stuff out. He just starts gutsing.
I get an outlet. Yes.
Oh, jeez. All right, so we've talked for an hour, exactly an hour now. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Dale, you got any parting words you want to leave Who Dey Nation before you go? Because I know you're not going to be there, but Zach Taylor gave us permission, told us to drink one more beer. Drink that one more beer. Take that one more shot so you're nice and lubricated going into the stadium. Are you going to be doing that way out there in near Portsmouth, Ohio, so you are screaming so we can hear you in the jungle?
Yeah. I'll do my part.
I gave you all that big old hype, and that's all I got? Jason,
yeah, I'll do my part.
What do you got going on Brews next week? Anything?
Shows. we get to win tomorrow. Probably do a post-game show on a Saturday. So.
Did Greg run home? Because, dude, I'm still in the car driving home, and I look at my phone, and he's on there with you. I'm like, how in the hell?
He was on there, and then he had to leave to go to a family thing. So I don't know how he got home so fast.
I'm like, look at Jared going, Greg is already home. How in the world did he get home so fast?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, man. Appreciate you having me on, brother. Who Dey.
All right, Joe. What do you got coming up on the riverfront? I know you guys got your epic Christmas song. Or is it songs or movies?
Christmas song draft. So late night Reds, Tim Daniel, Ben Brown, the hosts, every Friday. Wow, every Sunday 9:00 on Riverfront Cincy on YouTube. We're doing Christmas song draft. There's going to be basically hosts from all of our shows. It's going to be fantastic. And like I said yesterday, no Paul McCartney. No Wham or George Michael crap. No Mariah Carey. No, we're having real good actual songs. Oh, good Lord. Really quickly here, Bearcat news. Federal judge and the NCAA reached an agreement to extend the 14-day temporary restraining order through the spring. So Jameel Reynolds, every second-time transfer, everybody eligible for the rest of the season. The concern was, even with the 2-week temporary restraining order, NCAA still could have completely fucked them over and said that this uses up their eligibility, even though they were okay. Judge said they could play for 2 weeks. If they play one game, that uses their eligibility, and then if the TRO was denied or taken out, then they wouldn't be able to play anyway. So again, everybody is legal to play this year. Let's freaking go.
That is odd. Yeah, we didn't even get to the Bearcats. Like I had so much stuff. We should do like a 3-hour show. We probably could just keep talking to each other.
We'll do that next week. Like we'll just keep talking. We'll be live and in charge, and just no one will be there. The bar will be closed down, and we're just gonna keep talking. I'm cool with that.
Exactly. All right, Joe. I appreciate it, man. I will see you definitely next Friday. Who Dey?
Hey, brother.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. What Joe is talking about, he's referring to next Friday. Me and Joe are going to be live at Brick Brewery, doing a live show there like we did a week ago tonight. So you can go to ZTV Online. You can do the signups there, where they'll be giving away Bengals, Browns tickets. Also, you can sign up for Common Threads. They're going to be giving away some stuff there too. So make sure you go to ZTV Online and sign up there. So we will be giving it away for live on the show. Anyway, I hope to see you guys there. Check it out. That'd be great. Let me get to the Facebook groups, or just a shout out to all the Facebook groups that let me live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys now. Please do me a favor. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok, and Threads. Twitter X handle is at Jeff A. Trunipole. TikTok is at Iceman90. Facebook, Instagram, and Threads are all under sports with Strawberry Ice. I'll be pulling the sound off the podcast later on tonight, putting on the podcast. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a comment and a 5-star review so more people can find my podcast. YouTubers, you guys are awesome. We're at 2,453 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Shout out to ZTV Online. Like I said, if you guys are watching on ZTV Online, what's up? I appreciate it. You can also, if you want to hear any of the old shows, if you don't want to listen to the podcast, it is on Z Radio. You can check that out as well. Like I said, go to ZTV, sign up for the giveaways we're doing next Friday. Like I said, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up with ZTV here in the next couple months. Other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Go Bengals. Bearcats are going to hopefully whoop the Flyers' ass. We didn't even get to talk about the Bearcats. We got to talk about the Bengals much. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. You ready? That's just sports, baby. See ya! Stripes, stripes, stripes. In the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite. Cincinnati, we gon' rise. In the jungle, we unite. Drippin' orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every game day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who that? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes be tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we